Hi, all. I wanted to hop on here and share my story. I am a silver ambassador in Plexus. I am planning on being gold by the end of this month. And I wanted to pop on here and tell y'all my story, my Plexus story. Excuse my kids in the background. But my name's Aubrey Otero. I am an 8th grade science teacher, and I am, like I said, a silver ambassador. I'm also a police wife. That's how I got started with Plexus, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. Before I start, I want to do the FDA claim that we are not FDA approved because no supplements are, and but they do approve cigarettes, so you can keep that in mind as I'm telling my story. So let me start. It all starts last March, which is a year ago. Everything was great. We had just relocated to Fort Worth side from the Dallas side. I have 2 kiddos, and they were happy and healthy and beautiful, of course. Like I said, my husband is a night shift police officer, but we found a way to make the schedule work. I got a new teaching job at my school that I absolutely love. I'm so happy there. From the outside, it really seemed like everything was perfect. The only thing that we really struggled with financially was to make ends meet, but we always kind of found a way, and it wasn't that big of a deal. We always made it work. My health, on the other hand, was a whole other story. My health was terrible. I was having severe headaches. I was having heart palpitations and heart rate drops, fainting spells, whiteout spells, blood pressure drops, anxiety attacks, brain fog. And on top of all that, my energy levels were just tanking by lunchtime. I would just come home after school and just crash on the couch. I had zero energy. And I'm just an overall blah feeling all the time. On top of this, I always suffered from stomach issues. I would have cramping, constipation, kind of an all or nothing bowel movement thing happen. And it was for over a decade I had those stomach issues. And then on top of everything else, I was 203 pounds, and I'm only 5'3". So I was quite overweight, and that wasn't going to help anything in my situation. My fainting spells and heart palpitations and blood pressure drops became so severe that I actually had to leave in the middle of teaching several times to go lay down in the nurse's station. The nurse would take my blood pressure, my heart rate, and make sure I wasn't going to pass out. It happened about 5 or 6 times in a 1-month span, which of course doesn't look good when I'm at a brand new school and I'm having these kind of health issues. I ended up having to leave school a couple times actually, and one time I had to go to the ER. And so finally the ER ran some tests, and they ran test after test, all sorts of blood work. They didn't find anything, but they did tell me to make an appointment with my family physician so I could figure out what was happening. My doctor did some blood tests, some heart rate tests, and didn't find anything terribly severe that they could test there. And so they sent me to several specialists so I could get some brain scans, EKG and ECG, and an ultrasound of my heart. I was on my way to a diagnosis of a neurological autoimmune disease that my mother suffers from. Because they couldn't figure out why a 27-year-old mother of 2 would be having these kind of crazy symptoms. So they put me on a huge dose of vitamin D because the only thing my blood work kind of sent back that I was severely deficient in vitamin D. And so they put me on several thousand milligrams a day. And after a little while, I was not suffering from as much brain fog, but I still wasn't myself, and I still was feeling and having those heart rate drops and the blood pressure drops. And so I'm actually a biology major, and hence why I'm a science teacher. And so I knew that the vitamin D wasn't causing all of my symptoms. It wasn't the root of my problem. I'm sure it contributed to a little bit, but it wasn't causing everything. So my husband and I, like I said, we were having financial issues, and we always have, to kind of make ends meet. And so we couldn't afford to keep paying doctor's bills because it was hundreds and thousands of dollars that we were paying every month to pay off these medical bills from me going to specialists and ERs and all sorts of stuff. And so in May, we had finally just had enough, and something had to change. So what happened is Steve Hooten works with my husband, Ryan, at Richardson Police Department. And Ryan was like, hey, this guy I work with, Steve, his wife's pretty high up in the company. Why don't you talk to her about what she does? And so I was like, well, what company? He goes, Plexus. And I was like, oh, I heard of Plexus. I'm not sure. And then she's going to want me to sell, and I don't want to sell because I tried network marketing before, and I just don't want to get into that. And so long story short, my husband was like, you know what, you just need a messenger. Just do it. And so I messaged Jana Hooten, and I was like, Jana, sign me up. And that was pretty much it. And then she was like, well, we have several different combos. I said, whatever you normally give people to make them feel better, I want it. So she was like, okay, do you want to do prefer? I said, just sign me up as ambassador. I'm not going to sell it. I've already tried selling, but if I can get the steepest discount, I'll do it that way. And so Jana signed me up, and then I got my Plexus products like 3 days later, and I started on the triplex combo and block. And I took them consistently, and I have now for 9 months. And I have, within a week of being on the products, I didn't have any more health issues at all. My heart rate wouldn't drop. My blood pressure was fine. I didn't have any of my brain fog issues. Within 2 weeks, I noticed that I was off my Starbucks. Like, I didn't even need it. I used to have a quintuple shot of Starbucks every day. And I would have a quintuple caramel macchiato every day. And no kidding that my heart was kind of going crazy. But now that I don't need that, the caffeine wasn't driving me crazy. I wasn't having all these health issues because of all of that. So that was within 2 weeks. And then within a month, I started realizing that my pants were looser. And Jana told me when I signed up to take pictures and measurements. So I did. And within a month, I had lost 13 inches from neck to knees. And I was like, okay, all right, so it's working. I hadn't lost any weight yet, but my inches were losing. So I knew that something was happening. And then in 9 months now, I have lost 63 inches from my neck to my knees and 13 inches alone on my belly button, which is insane. I'm about to show you a picture in a second. And then I have also lost over 30 pounds. And that alone, on top of no more health issues, has completely changed my life. I am sharing my story like crazy because other people need to feel this. Other people need this result. I know it. If you're addicted to coffee, you need this. Like I was. If you're having health issues like I was, you need this. It helps so much. And I have not had one issue in 9 months. And I am just overjoyed. Not to mention the financial blessing that Ryan and I are now receiving since I'm about to go gold. We don't struggle anymore for extracurricular activities. My son is 3 and we just signed up for T-ball. I was like, hey, I want to sign up for T-ball, and I just paid with it. I just paid for it, like right then and there. It was awesome. It was something like that, like is life-changing, where you don't have to struggle from paycheck to paycheck because you have an additional income coming in that honestly supplements a lot that you wouldn't think it does. Anyways, I want to show you my picture, my before and after, before I sign off. So I'm going to screen share for a second. Here we go. And share screen. Here is my before and after picture, or before and during, I should say. This is when I started. And then now January 2017 is my recent one. And then I went to the store and picked up an old size pair of what I used to wear. It's a size 16, and now I'm a size 8, almost 6. And that's just within 9 months. And so if you believe in this stuff, I promise you that it will work. I promise you if you take it consistently, and if you reach out to your upline or reach out to me even, and I'll help you with your regimen if you need to edit it. But I just want to say I love y'all. And the very last thing I want to mention is that Plexus has changed my health, my finances, and also my spiritual well-being. Since January happened, when Allie passed away, my entire family has finally gone back to church regularly. My son actually prays now, and he's, like I said, 3. And I pray with him. We worship together. We've never had this experience, and I cannot tell you how full my heart is now. So if you ever want to know this feeling and don't know Jesus, I'm more than willing to talk with you and reach out to you about Jesus, because these last 2 months or so has been life-changing for me personally. And not just the Plexus side, but Plexus comes with so much more. Plexus comes with a family and a support system that you can never believe. I love y'all, and please reach out to me if you have any questions about my Plexus or my Jesus. Okay, I love y'all. Bye.